Cubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Son Ranto.
With Michael.
Son Ranto.
And Crawley.
Son Ranto and the lovable loser. Son Ranto.
With Michael.
Son Ranto.
And Crawley.
Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto. Hey, bienvenidos a El Son Ranto Show, or otherwise known as Hijo Gritando. I was wondering, how do you say Son Ranto in Spanish? I know Hijo is son, and then yelling is like gritando. That's kind of like ranting. I don't know if there's a special word for rant.
I think we're good on it. I think you got it good.
Discutando. That's discussing.
Why don't you just you can continue to use son, which is like R, right?
What are you talking about?
Ranting.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. You've
So,
lost
like,
me so early in
No,
the
is
show,
it the
Michael.
word? Is it the word son? Like as you're talking, it's the article R, like ARE.
R?
Yeah, like the word ARE.
All right, let's get away from.
No, is that what that means? Maybe
Michael,
I'm wrong.
you're not making any sense. Lay off the brown ass.
I'm
You're gonna have
making-
to explain it to me off camera because we got a lot to get through.
Okay.
I know what he's saying, but it's going to take too long to go through it. No one's here for this.
Yeah, no one's here for that. But this show is brought to you by our 105 Patreon supporters. We got a new one this week, fellas. Welcome to Seth, who just pledged on. If you want to know more about how you can support the Son Ranto Show, and there are perks at every level, go to patreon.com/Sonranto. And big news, Cubs caroling in only 3 days. I want to just say that right at the beginning of the show. I'm dropping a link here in the chat from an article I wrote for Cubs Insider. And 3 days, I'm finalizing the best Cubs carols of the 2021-22 off season, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I've been writing up a storm because so much has changed. Like I was writing all these songs that were all negative about the Cubs, that we weren't signing anybody, that everything sucked, and then I had to totally change my tune. I had songs about how Ricketts is a cheap ass, and then I had to turn it into something else because he's not as cheap as he once was. So come on out.
Well, I was down at Wrigley this weekend, and I already gave some of the bars the heads up. I said we're coming.
Yeah, because it's the same day as T-Box, which is a drunken festival of youth that runs through Wrigleyville, throwing up on everything.
That was the first thing. They all looked at me and they're like, it's T-Box. I'm like, hey, we're going to be around like closer to 6. And he's like, okay, that's.
Yeah.
But at the end, that's just the last of the hanger-ons that are still alive.
Yeah. Rick Comparator writes in, he's still cheap. I agree. I agree. The man's a billionaire. He should buy us a team like the Dodgers. And also, I just want to make a quick announcement of what we're going to be doing next week. We don't want to talk about the lockout every week. It's freaking annoying. So we're going to have a special guest on the show next Wednesday. So drum roll, please. Glendon Rush is coming on to talk with us about what it is to be a Chicago Cub and a pitcher in the major leagues, and we'll have all sorts of questions to ask him. And in fact, I'll put up a thread on the Son Ranto Ranters page on Facebook. If you've got questions for Glendon, why don't we we'll take some from you guys too. So,
and he's a great Twitter follow too if you're not following Glendon Rush.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. So, I want to blow through some Cubs news real quick. We're going to talk about, just some transactional things. Talk a little bit about the noise that Clint Frazier has been making on Twitter. Bryant coming back. There were rumors of that. The lockout, there's a little bit of news I want to talk about. And also the big news, as Michael said at the top of the show, Buck O'Neil, Minnie Minoso have been elected to the Hall of Fame. And that is no small thing. If you've been following the show for a while, it's something that, along with a lot of other people, we've been beating the drum on. So we'll talk all about that. Crawley will give us a John Vincent show review, and we'll play a couple of Ranter Cubs Miss carols as well. So let's start here. Cubs are stockpiling lefties, as you do. They took in the minor league Rule 5 draft. I mean, God, this is lockout news for you, fellows. In the minor league Rule 5 draft, they got lefty Connor Menez, and he's like soft tossing lefty, relies on a slider. He's out of options, so he's going to have to remain on the squad. That's probably why the Giants were willing to part with him, because they knew they probably didn't have room for him. And also, they got a guy. They did a minor league deal with a guy named Steven Gonsalves from the Twins, and he's compiled in 8 minor league seasons a 273 earned run average. He started too, kind of a back into the rotation lefty as well. 10 strikeouts per 9. In the minors, and that's pretty good. Had a cup of coffee with the Red Sox and Twins. He's 27, so he hasn't really broken through yet. So you can't have too much lefty depth, even if it is minor league deals going on. I don't know if this Menez guy is going to stick up, but hey, man, lefties, that's a commodity. That goes along with Locke St. John, who I just brought him up because he's a lefty, and we talked about him last week, and his name is Locke St. John, people. It's incredible. So how you guys feeling about not really much to say. Did that move the needle for you?
Nope, not at all. Not one bit.
Now, the one interesting transactional bit of news is the Michael Hermosillo news, which we reported last week along with everybody else, that Michael Hermosillo had been let go, non-tendered, off the team, and then they just gave him a major league contract instead. He was also, I believe, out of options as well. Which is what resulted in his non-tender, but now he draws a real. Now he's just in a really crowded outfield, trying to get a gig. So,
I was a little surprised by the actual major league contract and not just the invitation to spring training or a minor league deal with that sort of thing. Like,
sometimes you can sneak a guy through, and other times, what's going to happen is a bunch of other guys are going to jump on it. And I think that the Cubs just kind of were like, it's not going to cost that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I saw there was a Bleacher Nation article about how the Dodgers actually reached out and with other teams as well to Michael Hermosillo and wanted to offer him a minor league deal as well. And Michael Hermosillo kept the Cubs in the loop about all that. And so they decided to offer them. They have the room. They've got the money.
That makes sense. Good for him leveraging those other teams with the minor league. It's like, nope, give me the major league and I'll stay here. That's awesome.
Yeah. The weird thing about it to me is you look at this outfield, and this is
they all look the same to me.
Yeah. They all are gray. They're all completely gray. And they have no face, which is a weird thing. I've never seen an outfield with no face.
Wasn't that like the video for Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, where all the kids are marching and shit into the meat grinder?
Oh, they had the freaky. Yeah, those are freaky faces. Well, I don't want to see those.
This outfield definitely can't have their pudding without eating their meat. That's for fucking
How
sure.
could you? How could you have your pudding if you don't eat your meat?
But listen to this 40-man outfield. Now, all these guys aren't going to be on the team. They'll probably all be at spring trading, though, if there is one. Alexander Canario, he's probably not. He's somebody we got for Chris Bryant. He's probably a little bit away from the majors, but he's on the 40-man, protected. He's very good. Greg Deichmann, who they just signed basically to have somebody to back up Anthony Rizzo before they got Schwindel. Was he involved in a trade? I don't remember. But he's also an outfielder. Clint Frazier.
Yeah. Deichmann was part of a trade to the Braves.
I thought he was from the A's.
Maybe.
So he might have been part of that. Freaking what's his name? The reliever, the Rod Beck.
Rod Beck. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. It came from
how soon I forget everybody's name after they're off the team.
The failed reliever. God,
failed reliever. Yeah.
Are you talking about Chafin?
Chafin. Yeah.
Chafin.
God damn it.
Chafin. How do you forget Chafin?
Well,
everything that's happened, it's like, I just don't even want to think about last season.
Yeah. And it's funny because Chafin's actually one of my TFCs. So I even forgot about him.
So Chafin traded for AAA outfielder Greg Deichmann and low A right-handed starting pitcher Daniel Palencia.
Yeah, that was it. And then you got Clint Frazier, who they just got from the Yankees, and he probably will be out there. So he's definitely making the team. Ian Happ, was offered a contract, so he'll be out there. Then you got Michael Hermosillo, Hayward, which we don't know what the hell's going to happen there. Rafael Ortega, Harold Ramirez, who they picked up from the Guardians, and then Nelson Velasquez, who played his way onto the team, onto the 40-man anyway, by his play down in Arizona in the fall league. So that's a lot of outfielders filling out. I mean, I'm wondering if about
they will not all be there when they break spring, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment, and it's
Well,
just like,
and Deichmann was playing first base at AAA Iowa, so it could be that maybe he's the backup to Schwindel more so than an outfielder.
I mean, I really do think that you're going to see a hell of a lot more moves. I mean, I think you might see some trades. I mean, and it was hope. I mean, it all depends on, the lockout and when that ends and stuff, and the flurry of activity that will happen after that. But, they're not going out there with a full team right now, even close, so
no.
It's it's just,
you were mentioning Clint Frazier, and he's had himself an interesting week on Twitter, huh?
Yeah,
he's been fun.
I like him, man. Like this guy, like instant Cub for us. I feel,
yeah.
Do you get? I mean, first of all, he's a redhead, and you know how we can be. We're a little off. We're a little off kilter, a little disturbing, and that Clint Frazier. Well, let me put up the tweet that he sent out. This is the first one. He tweets out. First off, and there's a picture of him in a Cubs uniform that's, I guess, somebody photoshopped. First of off, these uniforms are so sick. I'm so excited to join the Cubs. One of the biggest reasons I chose to come here was the fan base and how electric you guys can be towards your players. I'll be just as electric for you guys, too. And here's to leaving my razor at home. So his plan is to grow back this fro that he's got going, this curly, hot head of hair that he's got.
Oh, hot is right.
And he'll never have to shave his chest again. I'm expecting tufts of chest hair coming out now that he's no longer a Yankee.
Now, we joked about it a little bit. This rumor that came out from Yankees reporters about wanting number 7, Mickey Mantle's number. And he said, I'll be continuing to wear number 77 as well. I requested number 7, but unfortunately it was taken by Yan Gomes, marking that the first time I ever asked for that number. Laugh emoji.
Hilarious. And then,
now,
Yankees fans got pissed about that too. Again, like, they were pissed in the first place because they're so like tradition oriented and stuff, like we are too, but like not like the Yankees.
They're looking for a reason to hate him, and just this little minor like jab at them was enough.
And so some Yankee fan sits there and says, I'm glad this dude isn't a Yankee anymore. And Clint Frazier writes back, so am I.
It is really funny. I mean, these guys, a lot of this lockout stuff and whatever is talking about, what's going on when they're young players. They don't have any ability to guide their own career through those first 6 years or whatever. They end up where they end up, and you gotta play there. And it sounds what? No, I mean,
no, I was going to agree with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I mean, it just sounds like Frazier absolutely never wanted to be a Yankee, or when he got there and they started to tell him all the shit that he couldn't do, which, I mean,
he knew.
We've all been young, I was in the Army and I had fucking long hair. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to tell a youngster what to do.
Well, yeah. I'm wondering too. I had this idea today that maybe he is their Almora in a way, like just a young prospect, first round pick, outfielder, didn't pan out, was kind of frustrating on the field. I mean, whether it had to do with his concussion that led to his vision problems or whatever it is, but a change of scenery. Now, Almora hasn't caught on anywhere, but a change of scenery might do this guy good. And he seems excited to come to Chicago. And the first year curse of coming to Chicago, though, these guys end up coming and they suck ass because they can't handle it. But I mean, maybe the red hair will kind of counteract that and kind of twist the narrative on that whole situation.
But he's also coming from New York. He's not coming from Kansas City or something. So
right, he's not going to get it. He's not going to be as overwhelmed. And here's the thing: sometimes, especially like this, never happened to Almora. Frazier just got off on the wrong foot, and you can't make a second chance for a first impression, especially in a place like New York. So now he gets to relax, have some fun. Cub fans. I mean, like you saw what happened with Chafin and how much people loved him. It can be a very similar situation, and hopefully, like you said, change the scenery does him some good. He's having fun and enjoying baseball again. Hopefully, his health is good and he can do something.
Yeah, and I can see how Chafin is fun, but I like this. I like this Frazier sort of like, fuck off Yankees feel more.
Yeah, I'm all for it, except for when he ends up on like the Cardinals and he's like fuck off Cubs, and we just find out that he's just one of these guys that runs around telling everybody to fuck off all the time. Could be. People don't change their stripes. Pincus writes in, whose birthday's coming up on Saturday. Crawley, Clint can forge a great Almora. I like that.
Maybe I'll get Almora's autograph myself.
Well, I will say that his fiance Kaylee is a great follow for health tips.
Oh God!
Yeah, check out the.
Please tell me it's not.
I'm smelling a situation.
Oh no! Please tell me it's not like we can use crystals to ward off.
No. Kale.
Like Kale.
Kale. Her name's Kaylee, and she's into kale. And
anti-COVID kale.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, but she talks a lot about health on her Instagram, and I think she's trying to start a business. So go support that. It's worth your time there. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
And speaking of business, what is the business with Chris Bryant rumors again? Look, guys, this is done. It's
trying to sell papers.
We're never coming back.
Brett's selling papers. Evan's selling papers.
This is
Athletic is selling papers. Let's get a Bryant rumor going.
Right, but clickbait. This
is bad breakup where the two are they're trying to put on a good face. You know what I mean? Like they try to put on a good face. Oh no, we get along real well. We still like each other, but like behind closed doors, they're both like fuck them. I hate that.
Do you guys remember like off season? John Heyman says Javi Baez coming back to Chicago. John Heyman says Javi Baez front runner going to Chicago. All this shit. It ain't happening. Okay, so you don't have to click. You know that, right? So this happened on the podcast. This happened on some podcast. Definitely not the longest running podcast. About somebody heard something at Baskin Robbins about Ferris Bueller's sister. Is Chris Bryant wouldn't mind coming back. There's nothing to it. So guess what? It's not happening. It doesn't make sense for Chris Bryant, and it doesn't make sense for the Cubs.
It doesn't.
If you were to have extended Chris Bryant, you would have wanted to look at something like a 6-year deal, which meant you probably wanted to sign him in 2018 so that you could build around him. You could still have a couple of the good years, and the last couple of years would be nothing. Why would you give him a 6-year deal now when at the end of that, he's going to be 36?
And not only that, it's like, now I'm not going to say that Patrick Wisdom's as good as KB because he's nowhere close. But I will say this. You have a serviceable third baseman at third right now. And then you have, and you love the upgrade, but where would you rather spend the money? At short, when you really need somebody you need a bat who can field. You need Correa. You just need somebody of that caliber. And if you were going to spend the money on somebody and the AAV was similar, I know the years will be a lot more, but you build around Correa, buy out the rest of his career if you need to. He is that good. So get him now and build around that, because that is a more important position than third base, where in between Ron Santo and Ron Say and Chris Bryant, there wasn't a lot in between. Aramis Ramirez, I'll give you.
Yeah, right? Come on.
But that's about it.
I'll give you that. Danny literally named 3 people in 50 fucking years. Like, I don't know.
And Ron Say wasn't exactly in his prime.
The Penguin.
The Penguin. He was the Penguin because his knees, he didn't have knees. He was like that guy, that grandpa from King of the Hill with no knees.
Well, that was the whole Cubs MO back in the 80s. They're like, hey, we have grass and dirt. Everybody else has AstroTurf. Hey, Mr. Bad Knees, come play for us for nothing.
Right.
That's why we got Ron Say.
Worked great for Andre, did not work great for Ron Say.
But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think there's any smoke to that at all? Carly, you obviously don't think so at all.
No.
You know, but at the same time, like if he was, I mean, he is a kind of a jack of all trades kind of dude. Like, you know, he would be. What if they paid him a shit ton short term? I don't know if he'd take it, but what if they gave him, because they got the room on the payroll, what if they gave him like 30 mil a year or something like that for like a 3-year deal, kind of like, you know, what they're doing, what they're doing with
Stroman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't
Just
have
to
a
like
problem
go
with
for
it.
it, like really go for it and get Correa and, you know what I mean? Do it all.
Right. You know, but I don't know. I am just not thinking that's realistic. So not going with it.
Well, I'll tell you what you should do if that's not happening. It's to shop at sunranto.com/shopping. And here's a quick commercial break. We'll be right back to talk about the lockout. If you're like most Americans, you buy shit. Lots of shit. Sometimes you buy shit for other people. Sometimes you buy shit for yourself. And sometimes you buy shit you have to buy just to stay alive. So why not buy shit through the Sunranto affiliate? Links at sunranto.com/shopping. We've got tons of shit you can buy. Go to sunranto.com, click on the shopping link, then click our ads and buy shit. We've got Amazon. They've got tons of shit. But you can also buy MLB shit, NBA shit, NFL shit, Fans Ed shit, Southwest Airlines shit, Fanatic shit, Reebok shit, Wine of the Month shit, Beer of the Month shit, Bear Mattress shit, StubHub shit, Lid shit, Sports Memorabilia shit, Volcanica coffee shit, Vibrator shit, Condom shit, Bag shit, NHL shit, and Audible membership shit. There's a whole lot of shit that can help the Sunranto show stay on the air so we can keep talking shit. So buy shit today through sunranto.com/shopping. Thanks. Cubs Jesus thinks you're the shit. Well, fellas, it's not looking real good for the MLB and the players get something. They're really far apart, and you know they're going to take it right up to the next arbitrary deadline they'll set to put pressure on each other. But I don't know. It's not looking good. I still have some hope that they'll like understand how important it is that they do get a deal done in the current environment after losing half a season last year and part of a season with fans to COVID. But it doesn't.
I mean, you lost a full season in 2020 and you lost half a season in 2021.
Yeah.
So that's a season and a half. It's a lot. You're not losing another season. I am absolutely have zero concern about that. This may go down in one of those old takes exposed, but I'm absolutely supremely confident the deal gets done in February.
Okay, well, I'll take the other side of that. They're not playing until fucking July. You know, like it's just not going to happen. And that's if they play at all. And I'm here for it. Fucking players need to take these assholes to the woodshed and, you know, get what they can get. That's what I'm thinking.
And you know, I read Ken Rosenthal's article, which was pretty interesting because he had some kind of what he thinks should happen if he was in charge. And he's like, yeah, I don't have all the details figured out of what it looks like, but this is the ultimate, you know, what they should do. And the big compromise that needs to happen is the 5 years or 6 years until becoming a free agent for a player of service time manipulation, which, you know, was a big deal with Chris Bryant. We had that right in our face for a long time. The Cubs obviously did that, and the players are sick of it. And, you know, so they want a 5-year situation and it tied to your age. It's kind of ridiculous to me that like Patrick Wisdom, who's put in 10 years in the minor leagues, won't be able to test himself on the free agents market. You know, a guy could be blocked by a superstar and just be like basically minor league depth and screwed, stuck in the organization because of the service time situation. And then, you know, and it's not fair. And like somebody like Patrick Wisdom won't be a free agent to be able to test it till he's 35, 36 years old. And then where is he going to go? He's never going to make the money. He's never going to get the nut.
this is what I was saying earlier. They don't get to choose where they're going, and if you go to a spot that has a superstar at your position, then I mean, you can literally go have your dreams come true, get drafted by a team, but then see that there's a superstar there and just, know that you're going to rot for the rest of your career unless they trade you. And that's totally up to them. You have no control over it.
Well, when you're kind of looking at things right now, it's getting bad. And one of the things though is that MLB owners, the difference between this and 94, which was the last major lockout right there, and is social media. Okay?
Well, no, 94 was an actual strike.
When you had social,
yeah.
Right. So the difference there though is social media, whereas the players are way more in tune with social media. They can get their message out, where owners are still kind of using like let's see if it makes the Sunday Tribune, which nobody picks up anymore. So I think that there's a disconnect in public relations that's going to affect the owners. So what Danny showed you earlier is that now MLB is saying, well, we don't have the licensing with MLBPA. So that's why you get the shadow gnomes right here that are all, if you go to the roster, all you see are grayed out players. And so if you go to Cubs.com or you go to Mets.com or you go whatever, none of the stories are about current players. So it's the 10 biggest trades in Cubs history, 5 Cub greats who aren't in the Hall, best position player seasons in Cubs history. And so now you have this.
It's like the entire rundown of the Marquee Network programming.
But imagine, like I said, you have to imagine that your website and all this stuff is supposed to be content based, and you can't use any content that's going to affect their bottom line again. And so they think that they're being all smart by pulling the players and all their shit off there. And not only that, the players are being smart and using social media to kind of come back. This is Ian Happ talking about college basketball, but if you look, his avatar is one of those silhouetted figures, and all the MLB players are doing it right now.
Yeah, that's such a burn. I mean, it's just like, and it's in the court of public relations. I think I said this last week, or I said it. Went on Cup of Cubby Blue last week, and I said, I've never gone to a Major League Baseball stadium and cheered an owner. I booed him, but I've never cheered him. And you're there to cheer the players, and we have access to these players. We like the players. We interact with the players out there in left field. We know Ian Happ. He knows us. It's like they have a voice now that they never had in the past. And
it's a direct voice. It's a direct voice. It's you don't have to bypass. You don't have to go through. So the beat writer's in a tough position because you want access, and the ownership has the access. And so it's kind of, you got to be careful. You got to kind of carry their water every now and then. But the players don't have to worry about that anymore. They can tell you what they're thinking. They can tell you what's going on. And trust me, they have a lot more followers. And I'm very curious to see how it does play out, because already to me, right now, seeing everything, I see that the players kind of have the advantage right now.
Well, on the flip side of that, we have a voice now. This show, social media, this didn't exist in 1994. There was nothing like this, and we can actually express what we think is going on and whose side we're on and all of that stuff. Whereas before, I mean, you still get a lot of people who, think, oh, players are greedy or whatever. And then you look and they're our age or older, because honestly, we were of that era where we were getting the newspaper and watching the news, and all of that entire message got sent from the ownership and not the players. Now the players have direct access to us. We have actual voices. Most of us aren't, don't have blue check marks, but when there's 1,000 people saying, hey, Ricketts is a fucking asshole and needs to pay somebody, they see it. They know.
I truly believe
that the shit passes anymore.
I truly believe that was somewhat, not 100%, an impetus to get that Marcus Stroman deal done. I think that they were hearing it, and I think, and Jed said, our initial plan, but everybody, got in the. I think that all these teams, Texas made the Cubs look bad, Tampa Bay made the Cubs look bad, and now Jed's sitting there like, shit, fuck, I got to do something. It wasn't exactly what he didn't want to. So it'll be interesting.
The fans are able to hold the feet of the owners and the organization to the fire in a way that they couldn't before. And I find that to be interesting. And the other thing that Sarah said on Cup of Cubby Blue is the idea that the reason we did see such a flurry of activity in that last bit of, billions of dollars are spent by the Texas Rangers alone. I'm exaggerating the number, but a lot of money got spent. And it was just for the owners to be like, see, look, we're spending. Look at all these rich people that are making all this money. Now, we know for a fact that's like 10 guys. 10 guys out of 1,000, not even counting all the minor league guys that are trying to get there making minimum wage. So we know this now.
They wish they were making minimum wage.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I enjoyed that happened out of all this is what the Cardinals had on. Somebody pointed this out on the internet. The Cardinals website, they still have the promotions they'll be doing for next year, except they had to change it up. So check this out. Saturday, April 30th versus the Arizona Diamondbacks at 1:15. Make sure you pick up your Cardinals third baseman bobblehead.
I have to take a look at that depth chart.
Yeah, what's amazing though is that the Cubs also have all of their promotions for next year up on their website.
Yes, they do.
Oh, there are no promotions.
Nothing yet.
They are not doing that shit anymore.
The one area that it looks like they do agree on is going to be the draft pick compensation situation, which in the fact that if somebody receives a qualifying offer and the team that loses it, you offer a player a qualifying offer, you lose that player to another team, you get a draft pick, and the team that signed the player loses a draft pick. Now, I feel like they do agree that the team that signs the player should not lose a draft pick, because that really screws. Like the Cubs, that was our narrative. Well, the guy's got a draft pick tied to him. We're not taking him. And there's a lot of dudes out there like that, 15, 20 guys, all very good, all your biggest stars. They're all tied to a draft pick. Isn't Nick Castellanos tied to a draft pick?
I don't think so.
No, because he just opted out, right?
Yeah, he opted out.
He opted out. It wasn't their choice.
But either way, I like that they would change that rule. That seems to be player friendly at that point. And
this is the only professional league that does not give you the option of trading draft picks. Like in the NFL, you trade a player for a first in 2022 and a second in 2023. Like that's how they make these deals work without actually getting rid of players, because they just get rid of draft picks in the future. And Major League Baseball is the only one that doesn't allow that to happen. It's not because they don't want to do it. They just can't.
I don't know. Do you think they want to? Like I said, like in football or basketball, if your first round doesn't hit, you're going to lose your fucking job. Like in baseball, again, a first rounder or a second rounder could be absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
which is why they absolutely do want to do it. They'll be like, sure, I want Chris Bryant. I'm going to give you Joe Schmo, but I'll give you our first round pick for the next 2 years, plus a 5th round pick and a 75th round pick and a 105th round pick. And you throw all these things in there, you're only really dealing with one player. And then everything else, you're just putting that shit on them later. Like you just want your guy.
I don't
think
see
that's
it being
what they want.
I don't think it's as much as a value as it is in the other sports.
It's not, but it's a way to negotiate that they don't have.
Yeah, well, I don't know what kind of negotiating is going on right now. It just seems like there's an impasse. And I mean, unless they make it 5.5 years till you hit arbitration, I can see the players not accepting a deal. I really can. I think they're going to stick to their guns on that. And I don't know. And they're going to have to give something on that. And hopefully it's the DH.
Fuck off.
No. Hopefully the NL keeps the DH, because they got the 5 years. You know what I mean? Like some metric happens and Michael Cotton can,
just though something to keep in mind is that this whole situation where we're bringing up poor Patrick Wisdom, this is not a normal thing. Okay. It is not normal to trade your 3 best players and all of a sudden your team becomes older. Like most of the time, the opposite happens. Most of the time when you trade your 3 best players, you put in a bunch of kids.
Thought about that. That's hilarious.
Right. And so you have to keep in mind, don't use this like, well, poor Patrick Wisdom's going to be 35. Patrick Wisdom is lucky he got what he got. It's a rarity. I'm telling you, people, if you are truly – if Frank Schwindel somehow proves me wrong, then so be it. I will apologize to his face. I'm just telling you, it's not the norm for guys to have breakout years in their 30s.
Yeah.
Like to come up in their 30s. You have the team that you are that's watching them every day, and you have a million teams that are watching them every day. And if he was so good, somebody would have said, we could use him. And the Cubs could say, we got Rizzo or we got Bryant. We don't need a Wisdom. We can trade him for a pitcher. It wasn't like he was in high demand. No. So it's not like you're not going to see a lot of 30-year-olds break through and wait 5 years and stay in the league and then have to worry about this. This usually doesn't happen.
Well, John Pincus points out, birthday boy John Pincus points out, a first rounder can be Albert or Almora Jr. or Clint Frazier for that matter. And so, yeah, it doesn't always work out. Not like the college situation where they are on that team next year. You got 5 years, but the other bit of news I wanted to get to as far as around the league is, and I don't want to get too far into this because we're already kind of running behind our so-called schedule, but Diamond Baseball Holdings has purchased the Iowa Cubs along with 9 other teams. So that is not a good situation. If you know anything about like the Radio Clear channel situation where basically one organization bought up all the radio channels in the United States and then homogenized the entire thing. Well, that was not a good situation for my business, for people that actually work in the business. Oh, for the brass, it's great. Oh, they're just, it's all trickling up to them, But for the guys down here, they're always looking to maximize efficiencies. And if that means firing people. So, you know what I mean? So I'm looking at this situation and they're like, oh, they're going to have like one regional manager for like the Memphis Redbirds and the Iowa Cubs, and they have to like fly around and make sure everything's running and it's all going to have the same concessions and they're all going to get from the same supplier and they're all going to do the same style bobbleheads. And there won't be the interesting aspects of minor league baseball where they're individually run by this maybe kooky owner in town that, that provides us entertainment.
Well, kooky people can't afford even minor league teams anymore, unfortunately.
Elon Musk is pretty kooky. I just don't think he likes baseball.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is going to suck. And also it's weird that you're going to allow one company to own all these different teams. I mean, it's actually against the rules. The Ricketts cannot own another team or a portion of another team's teams or whatever, as long as they own the Cubs. Like, they can't be part owners in the fucking Pirates and own the Cubs.
Michael, this may be something to your advantage, is maybe they start a competitive league with their teams.
All DHs, all pitchers batting, just pitchers.
Oh,
pitchers and backup catchers.
If they start another league, they're going to call it the fucking XBA, Major League Baseball, Extra League Baseball, or whatever the fuck it is. And they're going to do some dumb shit. And they're going to be like, only there's going to be an offense and a defense, and they're going to be able to throw the ball at people to get them out.
I love it. I'll watch it.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about some good news that we finally got.
Let's get into it. I want to play a clip real quick. This is from 2020's John Baker Day, when we talked to Buck O'Neill, and it's a quick little clip of.
We talked to Bob Kendrick.
Talked to Bob Kendrick. Yeah, we did. Did I say we talked to Buck O'Neill? We had a seance, and
we had a Ouija board.
We actually did talk to Buck O'Neill, but the audio is shitty.
Yeah. So, with John Baker Day and Levante, and we all. Anyway, I'm just gonna play the clip. Check this out.
Well, we thought that in 2006, when they had this epic election of Negro League players, and they put 17 in, and they left Buck and Minnie Minoso out. We thought that was going to be the end all for Negro Leaguers in the Hall of Fame, because they had put this thing together so that they could put all the Negro League players who deserved to be there in one fell swoop. And then it didn't happen for Buck and Minnie Minoso. And Buck missed by 1 vote that year. And Minnie was very close as well. And it still baffles me that at that time they were the only 2 players that are still alive that were on that list in 2006. And it still baffles me that they didn't have a foresight to put both of those incredible men into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. So,
now they are. So
you can see how pissed I was at the time, though. Oh God,
pissed. It looked like, I swear to God, I was like, is Crawley actually laughing because a White Sox player didn't get in? Like, is he that jaded that he's like, fuck Minnie Minoso, White Sox?
I literally just, like, when you hear Bob Kendrick tell it, and then and so, in case you missed it, Buck and Minnie finally made it into Hall of Fame. There's been campaigns to get those guys in for years to try to obviously right a wrong, and it's been a wrong for many, many years. There's when you talk to people about Minnie Minoso, he essentially is the Jackie Robinson of Caribbean baseball.
He's the Jackie Robinson of Caribbean baseball. He's also the Ernie Banks of the White Sox.
Right. And so you it's just ridiculous to think that he wouldn't make it in. And the Buck O'Neil thing was just so horrific because of everything he contributed to the game. And this guy's like one of the 2 living players. It was him and Minnie Minoso at the time. You know, I don't know why
2 living players.
Fucking Hall. There's 2.
There's
and
2,
so,
and both of them don't make it. It's like, what the hell is wrong? It reminds
Buck
me of Ron
misses
Santo.
by 1 fucking vote. He misses by 1 vote, and then MLB turns around and says, "Hey, can you induct these guys?" Yeah. You know, most of us would have been like, "Go fuck yourself." But Buck knew it was more than just about him, and he went up there and he gave a great speech. And sadly, he passed away not long after inducting 17 of his fellow Negro League ball players into the Hall of Fame. But what has bothered me for years about the Cubs is the absolute – Kansas City does a good job recognizing Buck. Obviously, Buck went over there. He played most of his years in playing and managing were for the Kansas City Monarchs. But his professional MLB career was mostly with the Cubs. And again, the fact that people don't know his contributions just drives me nuts. So he joins the Cubs as a scout in 1955. So you have the integration of African-American players into MLB, and he had this knowledge of all the players. And he was somebody that sat there and scouted all sorts of players like Ernie and Lou Brock. And later on, he's going to go back into scouting Joe Carter, Lee Smith. Great guys that he scouted.
He wasn't even technically with the Cubs when he helped them get Ernie. Like,
right.
He actually showed up just after Ernie the next year. But like, he was helping them to get Ernie anyway.
And he was the one that drove Ernie to Wrigley Field to sign the contract. So, I mean, it is literally, he became the first African-American coach in all of baseball. In 1962, when you have the College of Coaches. Now, they never let him manage a game, and they never really had him on the field. He worked as an instructional kind of coordinator, and he really did a lot to help a lot of the African-American players that were kind of coming into the league, where you had Ernie Banks, and you had Gene Baker, and you had George Altman. And a lot of people don't realize he helped all over the place. Billy Williams was in low A ball, and he was dealing with a lot of racism. And one day he just left the team. He's like, fuck it. I don't want to deal with this. Why am I going to deal with this? And so he went back home to Whistler, and Buck O'Neil is the one that came. And Buck O'Neil took him to a ball field where people came and said, oh, there's Billy. What do you do? You know, and kind of got Billy back on the, it's okay. I know it's going to be tough, but you can do this. And so it was amazing. People don't realize the relationship between Ernie and Buck and how strong it was. And that Ernie was very much an introvert. And it was Buck. A lot of when you hear Ernie Banks and a lot of his kind of shticks, the singing and the certain, what a beautiful day, let's play two, that was Buck O'Neil. Okay. Yeah. And I don't know, Danny, if you have the video of, we don't have to play it right now, but the video of Buck's speech. But when I hear the speech, There are things that, like, I literally saw Ernie Banks do at tons of Cubs conventions that came directly from Buck O'Neil. So the Ernie Banks that everybody knows and loves, a lot of that personality that you saw was Buck O'Neil.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to play that his Hall of Fame induction speech, not of those Negro League players. I'm going to play that at the end of the show. So that I feel like it's worth everybody listening to. You can check it out on YouTube if you want to see it. But before and the podcast version of this show, and if you watch after this while we go to Green Room, you can listen to that speech. It's about 7-8 minutes long, but it's totally worth your time. I'm just going to let it play as we switch it over to our after party show.
And remember, this is a guy that's not getting inducted, who missed by 1 vote.
Yeah, and and if you want to hear more of those stories, like what Crawley was just talking about, there's Bob Kendrick does Black Diamonds, which is a baseball podcast about the Negro Leagues, which is amazing. Talks a lot about Buck O'Neil. Did a really good episode about Ernie Banks. And then there's also a book. I read The Soul of Baseball, a road trip through Buck O'Neil's America, and that was like kind of
Nansky.
Yeah, that was a late era Buck O'Neil. And then there's also I Was Right on Time by Buck O'Neil, which was his autobiography. But both those books, like, definitely, if you don't really know a ton about Buck O'Neil, read his books, listen to Black Diamonds, find out more about him, go to the Negro League Baseball Museum.
Joe Pazansky's book is just phenomenal. And the other thing I would add is Ken Burns' documentary, Baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Is really what revitalized Buck, because a lot of people, just kind of forgot about Buck. And it was that all of a sudden you had this great storyteller telling about these fantastic players that never got a chance to really compete. It's that question of what would Ted Williams or Babe Ruth would have done against Satchel Paige, these arguments that all of a sudden became more important and in the mainstream.
And we've been talking a little bit, Danny, about flying the 53, right? The Cubs retiring Buck O'Neil's number because, I mean, Ernie's out there, Billy's out there, Fergie's out there. Buck O'Neil had a lot to do with those guys being a part of the team. And now he is an actual Hall of Famer. They're all Hall of Famers up there. There's no reason not to have his number.
Cubs' hand should be forced at this point. Every single other Hall of Famer that they have has been honored in some way at Wrigley Field with a flag, and Buck doesn't have one. I don't know if they'll do the whole thing and retire it. I know, Crawley, you've had conversations with the Cubs about this. You were in conversations and then they clammed up about it. Oh, we're going to do something. They did nothing. We wanted to have a Buck O'Neil day. We wanted them involved. The Cubs didn't respond to us. So
I've taken it as high as it can go. And I actually reached out recently to kind of once again let them know, as far as a fan, as a season ticket holder, this is what the people want. And it's something that's long overdue that the Cubs, I mean, not only, talk about the flag, but even any recognition, guys. You can walk around Wrigley Field and you see all sorts of names out there. Vince Lloyd, old broadcasters, like everybody's kind of recognized in some way, shape, or form.
But not Buck.
But there's nothing in the entire stadium around the ballpark that told you that Buck O'Neil was ever a part of this organization. It's ridiculous.
Well, didn't he play terrible music in the locker room and then somebody smashed his boombox? Oh, wait, that was somebody else.
Oh, are you saying that Buck O'Neil, maybe the nicest person that's ever walked the earth, somehow offended Tom Ricketts back in the day, and that's why he won't get his number in?
He was doing steroids. Quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk about John Vincent and play a couple Cubs Miss Carols, and then we're going to head on over to Green Room.
Green Room.
So here's another commercial break. Stay tuned.
Do you like having sex? Me too. That's why I always wear my Son Ranto swag shirts every time I'm looking to get some. It's the only t-shirt guaranteed to get you laid. Knock boots in your shankless shirt. Bump uglies in a Ranter long sleeve. Ride the skin-busted Tuna Town in a Dabbing Cubes fan shirt. Take gold one-eye to the optometrist in your bull penis awesome attire, or smash pissers in a Spagog shirt. Son Ranto swag shirts are just like people. There are many different sizes and colors colors to choose from. Plus, at San Ranto's swag store, you'll find vintage John Baker Day, designated hater, and Matt Cameron drawn rally titty designs on everything from shirts and hoodies to baby onesies, bags, and hats. Go to sunranto.com/swag and check out all the sexy styles guaranteed to get you laid. You'll be stuffing the soft taco in no time. sunranto.com/swag, guaranteed to get you laid.
Wearing San Ranto swag products not guaranteed to get you laid. San Ranto swag is not responsible for your sex life. San Ranto swag is for entertainment purposes only. Oh, Crawley, you brought back a little Buck O'Neil Monarchs bobblehead. That's cool, man.
Little Monarchs bobblehead, player manager, got the lineup card ready to go. So
It looked like he was eating corn on the cob.
what are you talking about?
It looked like
What's in his hand?
corn
It's
on
the
the
lineup,
cob.
the lineup card.
So, well, it does look like a plate or a corn on the cob or something. Yeah.
If you came and saw it, it looks different.
Yeah, I'd
Just
rather
looking
make
at the
jokes.
lineup card.
Okay.
There you
So, Crawley, how was John Vincent over at Rizzo's? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time over at Rizzo's. If you go, first of all, Rizzo's is not owned by Anthony Rizzo. Let me just put that out there in the world, first of all, okay? There's other
It's
people with
owned
the
by
last name
rat
Rizzo
that's a Muppet, right?
other than that.
Like down in Disney
But-
World.
I talked to John, and I'm like, John, do you realize one of the last fun things I did? It was I went to John Vincent's show in February, went to spring training in March, and then COVID hit. And so if you've never been to John Vincent's show, he's had him prior to the pandemic. This is the first time he's back. Let me say again, we can criticize the Ricketts for a lot, but the way that it looks right now, the ballpark with the Chris Kindle Mart and the ice skating ring is beautiful.
great.
It's great. Go down there and enjoy the scenery, and then head on, get your tickets. John Vincent does two shows, one at 5 and then a later show at 7:30. But Rizzo's is like all the bars in Wrigley are completely Christmased up. It's awesome. This is the entrance to Rizzo's right there. There's me in the throne
A big
of
old
Santa's
Santa
workshop.
chair. I'm going to
Yeah.
go over there and sit on your lap.
There you go, buddy. Tell me what you want. And then, I got to talk to the man of the hour, who's just, if you know Johnny, he's as good a guy as you'll ever meet, and he's so friendly, and he really just wants the show to be excellent. So it's a
He
picture
could
of me
use
and
you as a
John here.
toothpick. And you're not a
You are
small
so-
man.
You are so small looking
Yeah.
next to him.
Yeah.
He's a big dude, I will tell you that. But
He is
the
giant.
But the thing about John is he puts on what hell of a show. He plays Christmas songs like Blue Christmas, but the thing he can do that's so unique is he almost like just completely can incorporate the styles of other singers. Like when he does Sinatra, you're like, oh my God, that sounds like Sinatra. And you think that's all he's going to do.
Yeah.
But then he'll do Louis Armstrong. He'll do Elvis. He'll do Johnny Cash. He'll do all these guys. And all of a sudden it sounds like a completely different singer.
He's a
So
great
it's-
mimic. Yeah.
It's so good, and his voice is so beautiful. And then at the end, he's just so accommodating. This is some of the Club 400 crew. This is Frank Walker from Mistaken Identity podcast. Great guy, works at Wrigley Field. I don't know if Frank's on here. He was on here earlier. But we had an absolute fun time. And so
Beautiful.
if you're looking for something to do in the Wrigley area, you want to come by, check out the ice skating, do all that stuff. Make that the nightcap. That to me is the nightcap. You go to John Vincent, have a lot of fun, and have a great day.
Beautiful. Yeah. Go support. Also, here's somebody that didn't get to perform for a year and a half as well. So it's good for him. We got to all go out there and support live acts too. Even if you don't see John Vincent, go see something. Everybody needs your support. So, I did want to play just a couple bits of some Cubs Miss Carols just to encourage people out there in San Ranto Ranchers land to keep your contest entries coming in. We've had a few entries here. We're going to start. We got I'm just going to play a little bit of each one. We're going to start here with Bill Sugas, last year's champion. He's coming in hot with this one. Cubs 5 owners.
Hey, gang. How do I deal with Bears' suckitude sorrow? I sing a Cubs parody song. That'll raise my spirits. This one is called We 5 Owners. Cubs 5 owners seriously blow, bury them in early spring snow. Crying poor, there's such a bore, we're in first place no more. Oh, first to worst happened too fast. Another 100 years will pass. No playoff glory, same old story. Wait till next year, my ass. contention window already gone. Ranter singing parody songs. National League leading, talent bleeding, feels like we're just pawns. Oh, first to worst happened too fast. Another 100 years will pass. No playoff glory, same old story. Wait till next year, my ass. Come on, people. Submit some songs.
Oh my God. If you have 800 hours, you can do a song like that.
Hey, chingity ching, woo woo, woo woo. It's Clark, the Cubs mascot. Chingity ching, woo woo, woo woo. The Chicago Cubs mascot.
Oh, I love this.
La 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 di da di da. The Ricketts got a little friend. His name is Clark, the big furry mascot. You always see him in the park. When fans visit the park, they know what he will be because he does not wear pants, and that is obviously, hey, chingity ching, woo woo, woo woo. The Clark the Cubs mascot, chingly ching.
Oh God, this is our very
Chicago
own
Cubs
shy party
mascot.
aunt singing this song.
La, la,
Loving this.
La 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 di da di da.
What's up, ranters? I didn't do any Christmas parodies last year, just wasn't feeling it. So this is my first one. Might be my only one, don't know. But we'll see how it goes. It's called The Ricketts Really Hate the Cubs Fans, to the tune of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Now, I'm no John Jurgenvan, but I'm going to give it my damnedest. Here we go. You might as well gripe, you might as well cry, you might as well groan. I bet you know why. The Ricketts really hate the Cubs fans. It started with Joe, then Theo left too. The product is crap and the last season blew. Ricketts really hate the Cubs fans.
I believe that one just because he looks like
Great.
Santa Claus.
The excuses are
Yeah, no, everybody's doing such a good job, and I just love it that everybody's participating. I just want to play little bits just to like throw it out there. That was Bill Suggis, Bernie Barron, and also John Vasky that came in, and you guys did such a great job. And I just every time I see one come up, it tickles me so, and I watch the whole thing and I giggle and I say good job, and it makes me so happy. So keep sending them. I want more. Carl, you got one coming?
I had one. I was super excited about it. I made my wife listen to 20 different versions of Blue Cubs Christmas.
And then
all of a
got
sudden,
divorced.
Danny Rocket came out with one. And I'm like, God damn it.
No, that's the thing about Christmas songs. Look at my my song sheet. I've got multiple versions. Like I've got a Blame Theo, I've got Thank Theo, and I've also got We Got Stro, all to Let It Snow. And I'm not going to stop there. You know what I mean? It's just going to keep. I will write multiples of this. I used to sing about the Cubs one run for Little Drummer Boy. Now it's Whiz Dum 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 Dum. Like
all right,
you got to keep going, baby.
I will pull it out of the email recyclable.
Yeah.
Garbage.
And what's even more fun is when you sing the same song Danny did and then dunk on his ass.
That ain't happening. Not happening.
I don't know. Maybe you've heard my karaoke skills, people.
Could be. Well, I want to hear your karaoke skills on Saturday at the Cubs caroling party. So everybody come out. I'm going to drop the link again in the chat. If you just look up, if you Google Cubs caroling, it is the only event happening of its kind in the world. So it's on Cubs Insider. There's a Facebook event. Please join it so I know how many copies of the songs to make. Otherwise, I may not have enough. And
I'm telling you, Danny, it's starting to. I see people are like texting me like, "Hey, is it still cool if I come?" Yes. The more the merrier. And the funny thing that we've done in Cubs caroling past is all of a sudden we just start picking up randos that become friends of ours.
Yeah.
Our friend Hope is coming. We met Hope because she came by herself. She was kind of like, I was a little nervous. No one wanted to come with me. So I came myself, and like, now we're like total friends.
Yeah,
and,
now we all hang out. Her sister now works at the rooftops, like all this stuff.
And
like
her sister's coming for her first Cub caroling party.
And, the weather doesn't look so bad. It's supposed to rain on Friday, and then 42 down to 30, a little windy, but it looks like no precipitation for Saturday. So that is not bad. That is, I mean, it's been in the 20s. It's been a little cold lately, but in the 40s, man, that's like Chicago spring. So
I will make sure you wear any festive Cubs gear if you got it. I will be wearing my Cubs Santa hat, my Cubs scarf, whatever you got. Even if you don't, just come out and all you need is Christmas cheer, like Elf said.
And I'm going to try to go live a little bit, maybe on StreamYard throughout the night. And so look for that on Saturday night. We might be broadcasting out a little bit. We'll all be also at Club 400 on Friday night in the rain with Patrick Wisdom, me. I know Crawley will be there, and I've got a couple Patrick Wisdom carols that we'll be singing. So I believe that one's sold out and stuff, but also look for...
That is sold out, and the Cup Convention Frank Schwindel has sold out. People, when we tell you about these things, it's to try to give you a hot tip. You want to wait. These things sell out, and we are at the mercy of their management. We come up with an agreement, and they're set prices, and you can't all of a sudden tell somebody it's for 60 people and 250 show up. So they're sold out. So be on the lookout. We'll tell you. Yeah, we'll tell you next time they're coming up. But if we do, jump on it, please.
Yeah. So, but look for content on Friday night as well. And let's see. And also we got the Secret Ranter going on, the Elfster. You can join up. I'm dropping that link in the chat. Go to, I don't know, it's just called Secret Ranter. I'm dropping the link. It's on the Facebook page. It's on the Ranters page. If you want to be involved in the gift exchange, we're picking names on Monday. So you have until then to sign up. And then you pick a name. You know how fucking Secret Santa works. I don't have to tell you, but the gift limit is $25. That seems fair.
I have no idea who sent me gifts last year.
I don't think I know either. And my gift was just a gift certificate.
Like it was a full-on secret.
Oh, Dennis.
Secret Rancher. It got sent to me. No idea. There was no card, no notes, no nothing. But
that's really Secret Ranter. It
really was. I enjoyed it. It's a mask. I wear it all the time. It's great. And also a popcorn bowl.
I wanted to drop one more link in the chat too, and that's Michael Cotton's Christmas book. I mean, this is the time to sell it. Santa.
Oh, yeah. Buy a Christmas book.
Santa Goes North to the Pole is is the story of the Santa becoming a pole dancer at the North Pole. He becomes a stripper. He loses a bunch of weight, makes a lot of money, buys gifts for children. I haven't read it, but I assume that's what it's about.
I actually took pictures of John Vasky when he wasn't looking.
He does look like Santa. If we ever have a Ranter Christmas party, we got to get Vasky out there to dress as Santa, like in a blue suit, like blue Santa. We'll have blue Santa.
Blue Santa.
I'll have a blue Santa. So, did anybody have any flexing cubes for the week?
I have one.
I have two. So why don't you let me go first?
I thought you told Michael. You yelled at Michael for having two last week.
Do you know why? The reason I have one is because it's from last week.
All right. But I have one. But it's just like one dropped today. You know what I mean? Like I had one, it was all set, and then something dropped today. That's like about Anthony Rizzo. So here's my first one. Marcus Stroman tweeted out him standing on his hands, doing some leg exercise. He called it
yoga.
Yeah, he's doing yoga or Pilates, wherever the hell that is. Overhead, shoulder, and core stability. Obviously a very talented guy. Jeff Birch tweeted out, "That is truly impressive. Big Country 1739." That's Andrew Chafin's handle. "Do you have a similar routine as a professional athlete?" And Chafin did take the bait and responded. He goes, "Yeah, but there's usually a keg under me in that particular pose."
Yeah.
Like I said, he was born for Wrigley.
Yeah. So, and go ahead, do another one. I'll do my last one last.
All right. I have one here. This is kind of a visual one. So for the podcast, it is the meme of the person putting on clown makeup.
It's 4 steps of clown makeup. Yeah.
4 steps of clown makeup. Yeah. The first step is the Cubs already have a top 5 payroll. They shouldn't sign more free agents. Second step, Ricketts is saving up to extend the core. Third step, the core sucks. Ricketts is smart not to extend them. And the fourth step, it would be stupid to spend money in free agent now that the team sucks. and they're full clown.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, maybe we should change it to this flexing clown, because that that is.
I've actually seen that out.
That's QB the clown right there. Now I've heard all those things. I've heard all those things.
This one, my TFC has to do with one of our favorite guys here, and it's kind of now being repurposed. So you talked about repurposing, Danny. I got Wood shirt from Kerry Wood, and you could always use it whenever like you have like a Travis Wood or any kind of wood. It worked out great. And so one of the all-time great quotes was from John Lackey. And so it says here, NBC Sports, Frazier excited to join the Cubs. Trolls New York Yankee hair policy. Cubs talk on NBC said, Clint Frazier didn't come here for a haircut.
Yeah, now I can bring my song back.
I told you, when it comes back, I got the shirt for the song. I am absolutely stoked.
Hell yeah. And just so everybody remembers what Clint's hair looks like. There's Clint's Frazier and his beautiful
why do you keep
curly hair.
And the poor man always, because he was a Yankee, he had to shave his chest every day.
Every day. And his armpits. You can't be completely hairless. You have to have alopecia to basically be on the Yankees.
What was that movie? Powder?
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. A whole team of powders. The New York powders. So speaking of the powders, I mean the Yankees, Anthony Rizzo, he asked the other day if he wanted to know if anybody was into NFTs and what everybody's favorite cryptocurrency was. And then Anthony Rizzo changed his profile picture to an NFT that doesn't really look like him, but I guess it's supposed to be him. He's wearing wavy hair with a ponytail and glasses, and he's like Metallic Man. And I don't know if that's supposed to be him or not. There's a bat and a baseball and hashtag new profile pic. And Max T Power said, Florida man gets into NFTs, shocking no one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That was it. It's so, it's not him. It's so like an assistant wrote that fucking thing. Like it is just so.
Oh, I'm going to disagree with you right there. To me, that fits the profile of Anthony Rizzo in the direction he's going perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. He is
just taking money to do anything. Like,
he turned down whatever contract that was rumored from the Cubs. That extension was insulted by it, and now it seems like he's into crypto. I mean, this guy's just not good with money.
Well, you know what? Maybe he's in New York. Maybe he's going to take his paychecks in crypto from now on. Just like the mayor.
I was actually talking to, I forget the guy's name just offhand. I was going to maybe invite him on the show sometime. He's a pitcher in the Angels organization, a minor league pitcher. And he was trying to convince me, because I was like making fun of NFTs and cryptocurrency on that thread, on the Rizzo thread, and going back and forth with people. And this Angels pitcher started, well, you don't understand, and you should look at NFTs and blah, blah, blah. And, just kind of having a good time with that. And
no, we should look into creating them. Not buying them.
Hey, if you want to buy this air in my hand, $50,000. No, 50,000 Bitcoins. You give them to me.
Matt Cameron needs to get in some NFTs with his pictures. Throw those up on NFTs. Danny, you're going to put some songs on NFTs. I've got a Cubes fan cartoon for NFTs. Crawley's got a t-shirt design. All NFTs all day long. We're going to change the name of the podcast to NFT Ranto.
Hey, we might get more listeners that way. NFTs are more popular than us. That's for fucking sure. Anybody else have anything else before I spagog out of here? We're going to be on the Green Room post game or post show, I should say. And we'll be talking a little bit more just with you guys. It's interactive. So download the Green Room app from Spotify and follow Son Ranto Show. And we will be on there momentarily. Right now, I'm going to play a Buck O'Neill song. and then I'm going to play his Hall of Fame speech. I'm going to let that play out while we switch over to Green Room. And in the meantime,
Don't forget next week, Glendon Rush here
Glendon
live.
Rush. Tell your friends, tell your family, phone the neighbors, wake the kids, and we'll see you Saturday, hopefully at Cubs Caroling. 5 o'clock, G-Man Tavern. Be there. If you're going to be late, you'll find us. We're going to be the singing drunk people. So, we're tottering around Wrigleyville. So, Spagog, and here's Buck O'Neill.
Spagog.
Spagog. Buck O'Neill in the Hall of Fame. Coach, manager, player, scout, he really changed the game. Oh, Buck O'Neill in the Hall of Fame. Cooperstown without old Buck is a real crying shame. Many years ago, there were the Negro Leagues. Buck was a big star for the Monarchs of KC. As a scout for the Cubs, he brought us Ernie Banks. Discovered Billy Williams too, so we have to give him thanks. Oh, Buck O'Neill in the Hall of Fame. Coach, manager, player, scout, he really changed the game. Oh, Buck O'Neill in the Hall of Fame. Cooperstown without old Buck is a real crying shame. Cooperstown without old Buck is a real crying shame. Put him in the hall.
I've been a lot of places. I've done a lot of things that I really like doing. I hit the home run. I hit the Grand Slam home run. I hit for the cycle. I've had a hole-in-one in golf. I've done a lot of things I like doing. I shook hands with President Truman. Yeah. So, oh, man. I shook, with the other president, and I happened to hug his wife, Hillary. So I've done a lot of things I like doing, but I'd rather be right here, right now, representing these people that helped build the bridge across the chasm of prejudice, not just the ones like Charlie Pride and me that later crossed it. Yeah, this is quite an honor for me. See, I played in the Negro Leagues. Tell you what, the Negro Leagues was nothing like Hollywood tried to make it. The Negro League was the third largest black business in this country. Yeah. First, black insurances, the white insurances, 10-cent policy, just enough to bury us. But the black insurances insured our crops, our homes, yeah, our stock. They made millions. Next, Madam C.J. Walker, cosmetology. You see that pretty hair over there? Don't you see it? Oh, Mrs. Robertson? Tell you what. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, Madam C.J. Walker was doing that 100 years ago, and she made millions, to tell you the truth. Madam C.J. Walker was the first black woman millionaire in this country. And to tell you, Madam C.J. Walker might have been the first woman millionaire in the country that earned it. They had other women millionaires, but they inherited the money. Madam C.J. Walker earned it. Next, Negro League Baseball. All you needed was a bus, and we rode in some of the best buses money could buy. Yeah, and a couple of sets of uniforms. You could have 20 of the best athletes that ever lived. And that's who we are representing here today. It was outstanding. And playing in the Negro Leagues, what a lot of you don't know. See, when I played in the Negro Leagues, I first came to the Negro Leagues, 5% of Major League ball players were college men because the major leaguers want them right out of high school. Put them in the minor league, bring them on in. But Negro leagues, 40% of Negro leaguers were college men. The reason that was, we always spring trained in a black college town. And that's who we played in spring training, the black colleges. So when school was out, they came and play baseball. When baseball season was over, they'd go back to teaching, to coaching, or to classes. That was Negro League baseball. And I'm proud to have been a Negro League ball player. Yeah, yeah. And I tell you what, they always say to me, Buck, I know you hate people for what they did to you or what they did to your folks. I said, no, man, I never learned to hate. I hate cancer. Cancer killed my mother. My wife died 10 years ago of cancer. I'm single, ladies. A good friend of mine, I hate AIDS. A good friend of mine died of AIDS 3 months ago. I hate AIDS. But I can't hate a human being because my God never made anything ugly. Now, you can be ugly if you want a boy, but God didn't make you that way. So I want you to light this valley up this afternoon. Martin said agape is understanding, creative, a redemptive goodwill toward all men. Agape is an overflowing love which seeks nothing in return. And when you reach love on this level, you love all men, not because you like them, not because their ways appeal to you, but you love them because God loved them. And I love Jehovah my God with all my heart, with all my soul, and I love every one of you as I love myself. Now, I want you to do something for me. I'm fixing to get off this stage now. I think I've done my 6 minutes. But I want you to do something for me. I want you to hold hands. Whoever's next to you, hold a hand. Come on, you Hall of Famers. Hold hands. All you people out there, hold hands. Everybody hooked up? Everybody hooked up. Well, and I tell you what. See, I know my brothers up here, my brothers over there. I see some black brothers of mine and sisters out there. I know they can sing. Can you white folks sing? I want you to sing after me. The greatest thing. Come on, everybody. The greatest thing in all of my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all of my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all of my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now sit down. Now sit down. I could talk to you 10 minutes longer, but I got to go to the bathroom.